Action.
That works.
Welcome. We got episode 2 of our podcast up for you guys. We've upgraded a bit. We've got a new camera, got a new mic. Hopefully things will work out a little better. But we got a different format as well. We're going to do just 15, 20 minutes per film. Talk about, analyze, give our ratings. That's one thing we didn't do last time. We're going to give our own personal ratings, me and Paxton, and go from there. So, without further ado, we're going to start with our first film. I chose this film. I'm going to have Paxton introduce it. Get a close-up here.
The Chumscrubber.
The Chumscrubber, absolutely.
You would not think this name as a movie at all.
You would not. I agree. I agree.
Like it's not a movie. It's not a catchy name.
The consensus I've got on this film is everybody just judged a book by its cover in this regard, and honestly, I honestly like the movie. It's a.
I wouldn't say I liked it, but it was different. How about that?
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't
different.
hate it. I didn't like it
for its time.
For its time, I still don't think I would liked it.
Yeah, I can see why it did bad.
Yeah.
Like, the title itself gives it the bad name.
Yeah, like, this is a movie, when I was younger, I'd be like, the Chumscrubber? Like, this does not look appealing to me at all.
Absolutely.
Not like Avengers or, Ghostbusters or...
I agree. So let's start off. I've got the film synopsis laid out. I would love to show film from this. I don't want to get involved in copyright, so I'm just going to go off of some Wikipedia page here. So the consensus of the film is the plot. You have Troy Johnson. He supplied drugs at the high school, and he had his friend, the main character, which was Dean Stifle, Troy's best friend. The beginning of the movie shows him going over to his friend's house, and he goes...
Spoiler.
This is a complete spoiler. Goes to his friend's house, and it sets the tone. He goes into where his friend lives, and
he's like a guest house.
Yeah, it's like a separate guest house, absolutely. And he walks in, and his friend has killed himself. He's hanging from the ceiling. It starts off kind of morbid, but it sets the stage for the film.
Well, that's not the beginning. The beginning is, kids passing drugs, and then... I mean, it is kind of the beginning.
It is the beginning because Troy was the drug dealer.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, they set up the movie to get to that point to where...
And there's no real reason why he killed himself either. It just kind of sets the stage.
It doesn't really...
It doesn't give a reason.
In the movie.
There really is no reason, I think. But the main character is what the movie's based around, and they have him... experiencing this, and little do you know, he's on a bunch of antidepressants, which adds to this experience that he's going through.
To me, at the beginning of the movie, he wasn't on any.
It doesn't show it right away. It doesn't show it.
His dad. I don't. Anybody that hasn't watched the movie, his dad's like a psychologist that could prescribe drugs to people that he feels that needs them. And he did give kind of the vibe that he's giving his son something like that in the past.
Yeah.
But it never really explains it.
Yeah.
But his dad's just like, here, take some pills.
Yeah. You'll feel better. And that's kind of like where everybody's at in this film.
So I kind of understand the way he acts so now, because that does make sense now, because in the movie he just he doesn't really feel it.
Yeah.
He knows it's happening, but he's just.
Yeah, I think the drugs really kick in for him. And he has these drugs are supposed to make you feel happy. They're supposed to make you not depressed. And you walk in and your friend's killed himself.
Well, he's not depressed, but he's just not emotionless.
Yeah,
he's like an android.
Yep. He's like a robot.
Yeah,
he's just going at it. And
that makes sense.
One of the pieces of the dialogues that I remember was he walks up to. He's talking to his dad about the experience of him killing his friend killing himself. Yeah. And he's like, "How does that make you feel?" And he's like, "Honestly, I don't feel anything." And I was like, "Oh, okay, wow." But then that's when the scene kind of kicks off, and he's like, well, let me give you these, let you balance yourself out.
I didn't really think about it until you told me that though.
Yep.
Like
yep.
I didn't, and I just watched this movie last night.
Yeah, yeah.
So like when he told me, now that this is like that makes sense now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it comes together when you think about it. Like,
one, his dad did make a book about him.
Yep.
Previously,
and that kind of adds to the story too.
So I kind of forgot about that.
So the whole
too.
thing is fictional, but it takes place in like a makeshift California town where everybody's kind of perfect, and everything isn't perfect. It's chaos almost. It's like the high school. You got the guy dealing drugs. You have.
Well, they have like a setup of this is the perfect town,
and that's this.
And it's giving drugs out to kids in high school. I don't.
Yeah, and then that kind of adds to the plot of the other kids at high school that were helping him deal drugs in a way. I think that's how they frame it.
Troy.
They want to get the drugs of the guy
Troy
that died, right?
Yeah.
So they try and leads into the next part of the plot where Billy, he's probably the main villain in the film. He wants to get those drugs, and he knows Dean knows where those drugs are at.
Because him and Troy were supposedly
best friends. So,
which in the movie you don't really get. Kind of banging.
Yeah.
Because
and I kind of like how they write that into the
No, I know. It's just the way you explain. Like, if I watched it a few more times, like, I would have understood it more.
Yep.
But now that you're explaining it to me now, like, it makes more sense.
It makes a little more sense. And then they try to compel him by stealing...
drugs.
Not stealing. Kidnapping his brother.
No, first they told Dean to get the drugs from Troy's place.
And they used Crystal as, like, that soft... softening.
Warm up.
Yeah,
the
like,
warm up,
we're going to try and get it nicely, and if we don't get it nicely, we're going to go to threatening to get your
Well, Billy
brother.
didn't even give her really a chance, and he's like...
And that probably adds to it, too.
This was after...
And he's on those antidepressants, and I like how he's kind of, like, standoffish. He's like, no, fuck off. Leave me alone. I'm not dealing with this.
But this is still after, too. Like, so Billy goes to Dean to get the drugs, and Dean's like... And then Dean finally... says, okay, I'll go get them.
Yeah, that's later on in the film.
Yeah,
like, finally,
later.
Whatever. I'll get
them. What I'm saying is, he gives the drugs to Dean, or to Billy. Sorry, Dean gives the drugs to Billy.
Yep.
And then it's just those vitamins that his mom has.
Yep.
Because his brother is the one that...
Yep, he swapped. Supposedly, that's the story. He gave his brother swap the drugs with his mom's, like, vitamins that she was trying to sell.
But his brother was the one that they thought to kidnap earlier, right?
Yep, and they kidnapped somebody else. It was a completely different. It was another Charlie.
Different Charlie.
It was a different Charlie. His name was Charlie Bradley, which leads into another part of the story where the cop of the town and the Charlie that they kidnapped were together at one point, right? The mom. Well, I'm explaining this kind of bad, but. It was the mom and the mayor. They were together, but prior to his mom and the cop were married and had Charlie, the Charlie that was kidnapped, which is kind of funny because there's scenes later on where
that's the funny part too. When they kidnapped that kid in the first place, they're like, "We're kidnapping you so we can get your brother."
Yeah.
And he didn't. I don't know if he didn't hear him, or he's just like, "Okay."
Yeah, because he went downstairs and saw that it wasn't his brother that they kidnapped.
Well, no, that was Dean though. I'm talking about the Charlie that they kidnapped.
Yeah.
Because they said we're taking you.
Yep.
And then that Charlie's like, okay.
Yeah.
But like they even told him that they were kidnapping him because they were doing it for his brother, and that's when Dean did go downstairs and find out his brother's on the couch, and it's like. Because Billy threatened to kill his brother later on, a little bit later in the movie.
Later on, and that kind of adds to it too.
And so then that's when Dean's like, "Well, then go ahead."
I don't think we could ever give any respect to this plot that they have in this film. Just to add to this film's credibility, though, the Chumscrubber gives it way less credibility than it really should have. But you put on the cast, you have the dad who played in Home Alone. That character is the cop in the film. And you also have the mayor of the town. He was Voldemort in Harry Potter. So, I mean, they casted prior to, it's 2005. Did they go on to later roles? No, they kind of, like, fed off their older roles. Voldemort did come off after the film.
Yeah, after the film.
So, it was after the film you got Voldemort. So, he did better.
That guy that
Home Alone. Home Alone. This is probably a downgrade for him. But it gives credibility to the film, I think. They did a good job. that did terrible in the box office though. You're talking a film that had a $10 million budget, and worldwide they grossed like 300,000.
And I mean, right? And I can understand that too, because it was still kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, Crystal's mom played in The Matrix.
Okay.
I don't know her name, but she played in the first Matrix, second Matrix.
Yep. And
Matrix.
You're talking Crystal's mom?
Crystal's mom.
Yep. I do remember that.
So it's not like it's all like B celebrity.
Yeah,
she's pretty.
Yeah, and not like that makes the film any better
or
worse.
No, I'm just trying to.
It's just those interesting pieces of the film that come together. Like, okay, I could.
And then Macaulay Culkin's little brother is Dean.
I got that mixed up because his name is Charlie, but there's two Charlies, and it's not the Charlie that they kidnapped. It's
a different Charlie.
It's Dean's brother.
That Charlie.
So, yeah, I'd love to probably go further on and show like a trailer of this film.
You could. I don't think you get in trouble for that.
I know we probably couldn't, but it would probably ding up on copyright and not have to fight it. And I'm not looking to do that, but we are going to go ahead and rate this film. But first, we're going to just ask some questions and see what we liked, what we didn't like about this film. So, like, what would you consider the climax of this film?
The climax for me is when he realizes his friend is actually dead.
That's the climax for you? So for
me.
it climaxed like right away.
No, this is after. Because in the beginning he didn't really process his friend dying.
Gotcha. So when he's finally off the antidepressants and then he talks to his mom and he's finally breaks down.
Yep.
That I could consider that maybe a climax. That was if you're looking for something gut wrenching, that was pretty gut wrenching given the scenario.
I felt like it was a good. Because at the beginning, it's more downer.
Yeah.
His friends.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a climax at kind of the beginning too, because his friends died.
Yep. It kind of starts off strong, and it does die down quite a bit. There are little roller coaster rides.
But I feel like that's a climax more later on in the movie, just because he finally realized he's off those pills finally.
Yep.
Which I didn't realize until he really made me think about that just now, but then he actually realizes. Oh, geez, my friend's actually dead.
And I think the film is centered around, like, somewhat of the drug use scene, because in the close-up of this film, you can kind of see it's, see if I can get a picture of this. It's covered up by the sticker, but it says Generation RX. So just given that little snippet there, it is kind of centered around drugs. Not that that's a bad thing. I think it really adds to the film. It's
it shows you
that kind of makes the film.
You remember it shows you drugs are not good.
Did you ever watch Requiem for a Dream?
No, I've never seen that one.
Well, that one's kind of centered around like how hard drugs can, they had like this scene in there where this girl, she's taking amphetamines to lose weight. Well, it ends up like further on it kind of shows her kind of degrading her life or whatever, but this is not that kind of film. It doesn't really show how, in a way, I guess it shows that drugs are bad, but it's still
the one part when the dad, the sheriff, he's like, I put my son on these pills and it just gave him diarrhea.
Yeah, that was a funny joke on like what happened earlier too. Like they talked about so and so he put him on this stuff so he could bulk up, and it was Charlie. He's a pretty scrawny little dude, and even the other cast members, the dialogue for them was like, "Hey, Tiny," like they're making fun of him for it, and little do they know the cop dad was
trying to bulk him up a little bit, and then give him diarrhea. And Charlie actually says this in the movie, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, moving forward, what are some points that you think they could improve in this film?
I feel like they kind of jumped around with them too much. In a way, it was kind of all same. I mean, it all had something to do with, because like they had the main character was Dean.
Yep.
But then they kind of played off his dad. The
parents of all the subjects.
Yeah,
they really got involved in it. I really think
I thought it was a little too much.
Yeah, if you're not really paying attention, if you don't want to pay attention to a film, this is not the one you want, because you really got to pay attention.
It wasn't too bad.
Let me go back to the top of this.
I mean, it wasn't too bad how they jumped around.
If you go up here, though, they advertise the cast there. You're talking
Holy
1,
crap.
2,
Yeah, I
3,
didn't
4,
even
5,
think of
6, 7. It's not really focusing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
10, 11, 12,
13,
14.
13 actors and actresses that they're advertising on this film, and you really got to pay attention. Honestly,
yeah, that girl that plays Glenn Close is
I
in there.
watched
I
this.
forgot about
I
that.
watched this film this weekend. I did watch it prior. We had a showing of this film probably 2 years after it came out, and I didn't really put two and two together. Like, I watched it with a group of people that I used to work with, and the big consensus was, "What in the hell did I just watch?" Like that was what I got out of everybody. And would you agree? Like the dolphin imagery in the film kind of makes it
Yeah.
like, whoa, why did you do this?
Well, at first, when I saw the mayor, I thought
Yeah.
maybe he was on something.
Yeah.
But when
But
they
really just
explained that
kinda
he
got
got
hit in the head. Yeah.
and that's like, oh, well, that kind of makes more sense, but
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely, it was.
I just like how the mom was mostly focused on her wedding. The mayor
Yep.
was focused on a guy
And that
paint
everybody's
dolphins.
and that's what they described in the film too, was how every character in the film is so self-centered and they're just focused in their own image, their
I
own
felt
self, their
the
own
only person I
being.
felt like wasn't really selfish was actually
The main character.
Troy's mom.
Troy's mom, she was probably one of the most selfish. She was
No,
always
well-
talking about the dialogue that she had was, in no way do I blame you for my son's death. And it was that image that she was selfish in her own way of like she wanted to
People-
repair that image that she had of her son dying. And I think, I don't know, she was selfish in that regard. I think that she didn't really care for anybody else, because even at the end of the film when she's talking to Dean, she even describes like, I did not know my son at all,
That's true.
which
Well,
in a way she probably comes off like she's not selfish, but
she just
I
lost
still
a kid, though.
yeah, she just lost a kid, so there's a lot of emotional trauma there, and we're talking about a fictional movie too,
Well, I
from a
know.
fictional place too. But
I
they
mean-
did portray that character very well, I think. Given what they're trying to portray as everybody else being selfish, and even in a way, Dean was selfish, but
That's what
in a
I'm
way
saying.
he was on antidepressants too. So it kind of shows you how selfish you can be, I guess, on drugs.
But even the other kids were selfish in a way.
Yeah.
Billy was selfish because
Yep.
all he wanted was drugs.
Well, yeah,
Crystal
they wanted
was
to
selfish.
sell the drugs.
Crystal was selfish because she wanted to be part of a group, but then liked Dean in a way. I think to maybe be
All right,
part
so
of this, but that's whatever.
I think we did a good synopsis, but to end it, who do you think the Chumscrubber is? That's what we really needed to figure out.
I think it's Troy.
It's got to be Troy.
It's gotta be
Because they
Troy.
showed it at the end. He's the Chumscrubber. He killed himself. There's scenes in there where he's part of like a video game. I still don't understand what his role in the
was.
movie.
Yeah, I don't know
besides
either.
being that anchor point.
I feel like the only real thing that Troy came out of it was he got Dean like more clear-headed.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
Dean took that pill out, and then remember Crystal walks in,
Yeah.
he's like, "Don't you see Dean or Troy?
Yeah.
He's right
yeah,
here."
Yeah.
And I think it's because he was getting off those drugs or those
Yeah,
medications.
maybe it's like some hallucinations. I don't know if I'm
But I wouldn't
still
know
trying
how
to
long it
figure
would
out
take.
if the main character Dean, if that wasn't just like the Chumscrubber is just his hallucination, or
Well, no, because you see the Chumscrubber on walls of
Yep.
like Charlie's room.
Yep.
So it's based on a game.
Yeah,
I think.
Yep. And Macaulay
some-
Culkin's brother is probably playing the
Playing
game
the Chumscrubber.
while the movie's going on.
I think he is actually.
Yeah, I think he is. He's playing video games
Or
the whole
some-
entire time.
yeah, he's-
Besides when he's mixing up
yeah,
all those drugs,
drugs
but
into-
he's playing the game of
Yeah,
the
the
Chumscrubber,
Chumscrubber.
apparently.
That's what we.
What was the
got.
dialogue piece that he was like, I'm just trying to... I wish I could pull up that dialogue. That I think Dean says it, and then the Chumscrubber says it.
Oh, at the end.
Well, yeah, he says it at the end, but then I think he says it at the beginning. Something about going through life.
Oh, I don't remember.
I wish I would have kept that one. That would have been a good ad. But if you're ever watching this film, I'd recommend it. But to further ado, we're gonna give our rating on this film. I hope you have one picked out because we're putting you on the spot.
Like
We're
I
going-
said, I didn't think it was the worst movie. I think it was the greatest movie. We're going 5, right?
5 out of 5.
I'll go 3. I'll go in the middle.
Okay, 3.
Yeah, I'll go in the middle.
So 3 movie reels out of 5 for Paxton. For me, I'm gonna give it a little bit better. I enjoyed this film, and to preface, we're going off enjoyability. We have our own metrics that we're gonna use, and I think that one would work the best because we can both distinguish ourselves. I'm gonna go like 3.6 is what I'm doing.
I was thinking you were going more 4.
I was debating whether to go 4, but there are some marks that I give it down on, just like the enjoyability side. I did enjoy it most of the way through. There were some points where I was
That's
like,
why I'm saying like half, because I feel like it wasn't really. I mean, Dean was the main character.
2.5 would have been half, but 3 is still. I think 3 is still a pretty solid range, especially for the budget that this film had, and they did have a stellar
10 million budget, but did horrible in the box.
Yeah, no, it was like. I really think
and
this
their
one.
effects were.
I really think this one should. Yeah, that was. But it's 2005
well,
too, so you gotta take that into consideration.
I know, but I can take Spawn versus this movie.
Yeah,
and Spawn still had better graphics, and I think that's shitty graphics.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. I mean, this is a few years before The Dark Knight, and that one had pretty stellar graphics, I think. Graphics. So I mean, for its time and its budget too, I don't know what those other budgets are.
That's true. I guess I can't really.
You gotta put that into consideration. 10 million,
because you gotta pay all your actors.
And think of 2005. Think of the video game consoles that were out during that time. Yeah, 2005 is probably original PlayStation 2, original Xbox. So there were still polygon-y graphics, and that's kind of what they did in the film.
It was still bad. I played Tony Hawk. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, for not video games and rendered graphics, they were pretty bad.
It was still pretty bad. But
so we're gonna end that one, and we're gonna move on to the next film.
Do we even have that? I don't think we have a.
I don't have it with me.
Okay. Kind of lagging.
Oh no. Are we even going still?
I would think so.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, there you go. Now I caught up, kind of.
I'm looking to see if there was any chat, and I'm not seeing any chat.
Still thinking.
Yeah.
It's not doing until maybe it's because all your windows are open.
Maybe I'll just close out of this one. Oh, no internet. What? Sorry for the delay. We're gonna move on here.
I think it's because you have so many windows open, probably.
Probably. That looks okay. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna see how our stream is running, and we might just go either Twitch or YouTube because we're doing a restream. Shoot. We got 0 viewers. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're streaming okay.
Maybe it's just because of that. I don't know. I think it's because of your windows, honestly.
It's just not showing very well in here. And
yeah.
There's no.
Because when you have a bunch of pop-ups and you're trying to film it out,
yeah,
it goes good. But as long as it's fine on the.
Yeah, it's showing good on that one. I mean, we're not dropping any frames or anything. I'm gonna check. I want to check out one more avenue here. Quick. You want to introduce the next film?
Well, so while he's doing that, I'm gonna introduce our next film. It's not a new film, sorry. It's Crank. It's with Jason Statham. He's the main character. I don't remember his. I think it's like Chelios or something. I forget his.
Chev Chelios.
Chev Chelios. Yeah,
I love saying that. I don't know. It's just a fun thing to say.
You want me to do like points of the movie and
yeah, go through some of the plot.
Okay, so basically in this movie, his character he's fighting this like mob, and he gets captured, and then he gets like I wouldn't say a poison, but he's like, well, maybe it is like a poison, I guess, because if he anything he slows down, stops, he dies.
He's got to keep his adrenaline.
So he's got to keep his adrenaline up to stay alive. So he's doing different things in the movie, which I don't know, some
very unrealistic
and unrealistic.
Yeah, but that's what I think is the
whole funny thing.
It's funny, like it's not a comedy, but the thing is, it's funny to me. That's my first impression is like, wow, the writers of this film, they just wanted to have an action film, so they're just gonna have a dude written in a way where you have to be doing crazy shit all the time, or else you're just gonna die. I think it's a great story.
Well, like some of the stuff was more realistic until he got to like the hospital.
Yeah.
And he had the nurse like, "You gotta jump me," and she's like, "What?"
Yep.
Just jump me.
Just jump me. Yeah.
And then, like if you're a real person, you did that to yourself. One, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Because two, that could just kill your heart.
Yeah, you're
like,
just
it makes
shocking
no
yourself.
sense.
You're
Yeah,
just shocking yourself. I need to get my adrenaline up. Just shock me.
Well, I mean, that's what they use it to start your heart, but like, your heart's still going, dude. They ain't gonna help you. That's gonna make it worse. I think that's gonna make your heart like give up more. So then basically his character tries to find the main head boss guy because he wants revenge.
Yep.
And then he finally gets to him, and then at the end.
One part that I thought was cool. I'm just gonna jump in. So that intro film where the guy is like, "You've been injected with this Chinese drug that you have to keep your adrenaline up, else you're gonna die." That film at the beginning, I like that film that he's watching because he's on the bed getting injected with that right there in front of him. He's watching himself get injected with that. I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty intense. How the hell? How do you line that up? I don't know, but it added to the story. It's like, oh, God, you got me. Oh, he just adds to it, and he's really like, I got to get back at this.
And
Isn't there like some kind of a backstory of like he was like a part of a mafia boss, and
he might have been like a helper.
I'm pretty sure this was like a mafia struggle. Like
I forget
maybe he was like a hired gun at one point.
Yeah, I think he was like a hired person.
And they wanted to off him some way, which
I think they were trying.
Why do it like that? It's kind of hard to say,
I think they were trying to punish him.
Maybe, yeah, they could just punish him like you're gonna watch yourself die. And in the trailer, I watched the trailer. So I remember watching this film a long time ago. So I'm kind of just going off of memory. But I watched the trailer recently. And
I'm going off memory too. But.
Yeah, the trailer, it starts off with "Today's the day I die." It was like, okay, yeah, you got my interest. Like, this should be interesting. You piqued it a little bit there, and then they go through the scenario, and then he ends it with "Today's the day I die." And I'll be damned. Spoiler alert. He dies at the end.
Well, that's the funny part. There's a second one, and he's
Yeah, I mean, it's
kind
of far-fetched to begin with. Like,
well, I know.
After the first one, they should have just been done with it.
Yeah.
But they decided, you know what? Let's make it even more unrealistic. Let's bring him back to life and go through the same scenario.
I understand, like, during this whole movie.
Yeah.
I get that some of the stuff doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be at least plausible.
Yeah.
But falling off of a plane.
You hope.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know how many stories up. Let's say like 12 or whatever.
And I remember
to hit a car.
I remember that scene. Like, I could imagine them filming that, like the green screen, and then just having a bunch of fans just blowing your shirt around, just like, whoa, getting in the struggle. And I could have freaking done that. I'm not saying I could do it as good as they did. They actually, what was their budget? Let's figure out what their budget was.
And how much it was made? I'm sure I wouldn't.
It came out in 2006.
I would say it's about the same time.
Followed by Crank High Voltage, like you're talking about, 2009.
So 3 years later.
Yep.
They're like, we need more
here's
money.
some stats here. It grossed $10 million on its opening weekend, ranked number 2, behind Invincible,
which is not bad.
All said and done, $27 million domestically.
Because Invincible was a pretty good movie. That was with Bruce Willis. I mean, Bruce Willis is going to get over Jason Statham.
I don't know if they're going to show their budget in here, but it's definitely.
I mean, that
I
sounds
don't know
like
if it was
profitable.
to me, it's not a AAA title.
No.
Like,
Well, yeah, I remember.
It comes off like a AAA title, but I'm sure maybe double, single A.
Yeah, remember this is when Jason Statham was just becoming a movie star too.
Yeah.
So I mean, like Invincible, it was Bruce Willis.
Yep.
So I mean, you got Bruce Willis or Jason Statham that you probably never heard of.
Yeah,
at this time.
They're probably going to go Bruce Willis over Jason Statham,
and that's why I think it was number one. Invincible.
And honestly, this is probably one of those. If I go back to Jason, if I go to Jason Statham, I like a lot of his films.
No, yeah,
he had that bank heist film. He had. Honestly, he shouldn't have done the other Cranks, but you know, money's money, and he had a good success on that film, obviously. And I don't know how much their budget was. I would love to know if they really made out or if they lost.
I'm sure they had to make some money, or else they wouldn't make a second one.
Absolutely. I don't think they would have lost money. So he started off. Let's see, what's the first one that you remember? Ghost of Mars. Don't really recall that one. The Italian Job. That was probably his first. That was probably his first film that I remember where he was like, okay.
But he wasn't really a main guy, was he? Not really. He was like a second.
I have a hard time remembering that. I think he was like a secondary character in that, but he was part of like the main story.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. I
agree with you. He's got a laundry list of,
he's
films. So
movies.
I mean, he's in good movies. The fact that he picked Crank, love to say his name, Chev Chelios.
Well, I think this is actually his first movie where he's like the main character. Though.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're probably right in that.
I mean, I could be wrong.
I'm not a big Jason Statham.
I'm not really.
Knowledge base for him, but I do. I like his films.
No.
He's got that good British accent to film, and
he's got one of those good.
What was the
characters.
My favorite one would probably have been the one where he was doing the bank heist.
I think that's Italian Job. You do a bank heist.
No, there was another one.
Sorry, as we're scrolling through our. If I saw
the bank job. The bank job. That was another one. I don't want to talk too much about that one because we're talking about Crank, but the bank job he was great in, and I would equally say he was pretty good in this one. Given the circumstances of the film and the story, I think he did a good job. You know, he was the right character for this role.
I feel like Crank was a good one though too.
Yeah, it was a good film. It was definitely a good film.
I wouldn't put it in my.
It's not my greatest. No, I agree. It's not my greatest either.
Film. I like this better than the Chumscrubber.
Okay.
I do like it better than Chumscrubber.
Okay, that's to me that's debatable, but
yeah,
I honestly I agree. There's probably some legitimacy to that. What's some other points if we can remember besides the electrical shock?
He does the dirty with his girl at the moment girlfriend played by Amy Smart.
I think that's a scene that everybody can remember from the film. I don't know, it's just like one of those odd scenes.
And this is when we're younger too, so it's like
you kind of pay more attention to that scene. You're like, oh, they're doing it, man, they're doing it. You know, it's kind of interesting.
One that's in front of like a bunch of schools.
Yeah, exactly.
In the middle of everybody.
It's like, whoa, it's in public here. Yeah. But he's got to keep his adrenaline up, so it makes sense. And it's just, why not write it in there, you know?
Another one is like, I think he jumped his heart to it, like somehow jumped his stuff to a car battery, I'm pretty sure.
I think
or
you're
something
right.
Like that.
And
or his tongue or something.
What are some other like high intensity events? Doesn't he drive like recklessly too?
He's driving. Well,
the whole time he's
got a short period of time. Like this he's got a day.
Yeah, he's got to keep his.
So he's got to keep going. So he's driving in and out of lanes and going crazy. I'm sure he's going easily over 100 miles an hour through city streets. Yeah.
So let me get back to my questions here. Any kind of special effects you remember from this film? There wasn't really much for special effects. Probably some like green screen shots.
Just mostly at the end where he like places bombs and then the whole building explodes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's CGI.
Yeah, absolutely.
It didn't seem realistic to me.
No, it definitely wasn't.
Especially like when he falls off the plane, like you said.
Yeah, definitely green screen shot. You could just tell. I mean, they did a good job of isolating him in that scene to where it still looks fairly realistic, but just the way that they're interacting with one another, you can definitely tell it's green screen.
Well, and even then, he still might be falling in like one of those tubes.
Yeah, maybe some kind of like one of those
free falling.
Free fall, those big fans that
That's
keep
what
you
I'm saying,
floating, and
yeah.
they kind of film it
That's
in
what
that
I'm
regard.
saying, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
maybe
could
it could've
possibly
been
filmed. I honestly think they just did it off of like strings, and they
And
just
they
had a bunch
could've.
of fans going and
They
had
could've,
them
too.
looking like they were. And there was another funny part in the scene at the end. I have to say this is one of my like. They have to do it that way, but he makes a phone call while he's free falling. Like, how unrealistic is that? You're talking all this wind noise, they're blowing around, and let me call somebody real quick, and it goes to an answering machine, and
I like how he was,
I was
just,
like, come on, man,
I do kind of like how he was just like kind of chill about it too, like, hi, babe.
Yeah. He's falling. I've been through so much throughout this film. Why not? Let's just chill here and relax.
But I mean,
and this is how I go. All right.
I mean, but if you're falling,
I'm Jeff Chilios, and this is how I die.
maybe his woman's the one that tells the story. Supposedly,
Maybe
he dies in the first
maybe
one.
this is a book written by his. This is
Girlfriend.
like the spin-off of a spin-off.
Until they made High Voltage, and then he somehow survives. I think he gets a replacement heart, but he still should be dead.
All right, I think we should move on to.
We didn't rate this one.
We didn't.
No, we didn't.
No. Yeah, we're moving on to rating.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you meant we're on next one.
How many movie reels do you give this film? Crank, 2006. Put it in perspective. This is around the same time the Chumscrubbers came out.
I don't really do the whole point, like whatever type thing. So I'm gonna give this like an A5. I'll give this one like a 4.
Solid 4.
Solid 4.
Okay. 4 movie reels out of 5 for Paxton. I'm gonna stick with the theme. I'm gonna put this a little bit above the Chumscrubbers. Just given I don't know what the budget is. It did
like
better. It obviously did better in the box office than the Chumscrubbers.
Well, yeah, number
But
2.
this is just my take on it. I remember it being a good film. The thing is, I don't remember all bits and pieces of it. So in my head, it's like, was it really that great if I can't just remember it? Whereas
That's true.
I remember the Chumscrubbers, and I don't remember all of that one either. But I did just watch that one. I have not just watched Crank. I'm still going to rate this one higher than the Chumscrubbers.
So it's like 3.8.
I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do 3.9. I'm going to do 3.9.
That's close.
I can't give it a 4.
No.
It's not 4 worthy to me.
I don't like the whole point system, the 3-point whatever. So
I have to. I mean, I'm a out of 10 guy, but if we're gonna do like graphics and stuff, I feel like 5 is gonna be 3 point whatever. We can just chop a movie reel in half or something.
Point something. You have a 0.1 reel chop.
Give it the old choppity chop.
I guess it would make sense. I mean, a movie reel's not gonna be 100% anyways. There's not going to be a full movie reel.
And who knows, this may be the last episode of the Extra Reel podcast that you guys ever see. But
I don't.
I do have, we can make this a regular thing. I think this is a lot of fun. We just upgraded our mic. We just got our camera all set up. That's all we really need. We don't need much more than that.
No.
And we need some interaction, people. If you can get on the line there and give us some questions. I don't think my chat is working.
Not on your computer, anyways.
But if I open up the...
I'll open mine too.
Yeah, see if you can pull up yours quick. Because I'm not
There is no one on chat, though.
No, that's fine. Is that your Twitch?
No, that's my Twitch.
There is no one on chat, though. No, that's fine. And it's not showing our YouTube one, which is kind of like, bummer.
I don't know if it's like a... No, it should be streamed at the same time, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be. That's why I did the restream. But it's not showing up, else I would pull it up.
Those are your already made videos.
Okay,
though.
there we are. We're live right here.
Yeah,
So
that's because those other ones were movies that already finished.
all right.
Yeah,
So
see? Listen to Paxton in the past.
okay, yeah, we got a viewer here. Sorry I missed your chats. It's not really giving me any notification. Got Daniel Orozco.
That's Goku, as he's known.
Yeah,
Part of the Meow Owls.
We missed his Meow Wow Paxton. The
Yep.
Meow Wows and the Orange Hamster.
Yep.
Paxton, make sure to watch the Dragon Ball Superhero movie since it's the best ever. Laugh out loud. Meep.
He
like
always says meat. I will try to get on that. It's hard to get some free time sometimes.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Thanks for tuning in. This is great. If you have any
1%.
recommendations on any films, please add some of your input, some of your critiques, anything. We're down.
Goku, I know some Dragon Ball Z movies. I don't know about this guy though. I know Brawly and Brawly 2, and then what was the third one? I forget what the third one was called, but there was like 3 Brawlies, but.
All right, so we gave our ratings on that, and we're sitting good for time. We've got one more film up for debate.
We don't really have to cover this one either.
Don't think I have. I thought I had the cover. I have some other one. So this is a pretty famous Jim Carrey film.
Don't you have a cassette?
Yeah,
I think
it's
in the
in the box there. Stand by. Stand by.
The box. Should be in one of the cases, I think.
Yep.
You found it.
Sweet.
Wait. Here.
Oh, there's no case to it.
No, there's no case, but it says
This is literally a
Old
VHS
school.
copy. So we will.
we're going old school VHS.
Where you going? Without further ado.
I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it. We'll zoom
I can
in.
just kinda see
We'll
it.
zoom in.
Zzz.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
love
I
this
freaking love this film ever since it came out. I've watched it multiple times. I think this is a great film to talk about. It doesn't fit the theme of what we're talking
I
about
mean, it
tonight.
kind of does.
In a way, maybe. I think all these other films, like, okay, so the Chumscrubber was kind of
Based on
drug centric, let's say. Crank still had some kind of he had drug injected into him. I think that kind of fit the drug thing. We probably should have went to another drug themed film,
Okay.
but I'm down for anything. I'll watch and listen to pretty much anything. I don't know if you're in the same boat.
No, I'm.
I guess.
Do you have watched any films?
Yeah, I'm certain to a certain extent. I am kind of picky on what I watch, but
Empire
when you brought this one up, I couldn't help but just like want to talk about it.
Well,
it's such a great comedy. Like Jim Carrey does a hell of a job.
I mean, this doesn't really talk about drugs, but you can tell at least one person was probably supposed to be taking pills.
Yeah, in order to make this film, yeah, you definitely got to be on something. They did a good job writing this one. For those that are not watching this, the film is Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. The first Ace Ventura. Just to give some stats here. Sorry, I'm not prepared.
Failing.
This film did hella good, man. Hella good.
Well, it's Jim Carrey. I mean,
Jim Carrey, like beginning of his prime. Courtney Cox was in this one.
Courtney Cox, I remember. Yep.
I'm not familiar with those characters. Dan Marino made a cameo. The budget was $15 million from Warner Brothers, Morgan Creek Productions. We're not talking about the second one. We're just going to completely talk about the first one.
Yeah, we're not.
I have a lot of standout points in this film I want to talk about. I'll let you give the breakdown of it. What do you remember as the breakdown? So I'll say the beginning of the film. It's one of the best parts of the film that I like. He's got he's a pet detective. He wants to save animals. He wants to help animals. And at the beginning, he's tossing around a box that says fragile, handle with care. And he's kicking it around, he's throwing it around, he's smashing it, and it's just this kind of short little monologue into showing up this guy's apartment, and he's trying to get this dog out of his care because this guy obviously, you get to learn that he doesn't care about this dog, and
yeah, you can tell the guy was just keeping a hold of it because he didn't like his ex-girlfriend or
it's kind of a sad moment, but he takes it and he pretends that he's delivering this fragile package. Kind of sets the comedy tone of it. He's
what's even funnier?
You shut up, you mutt. And he's like, I said shut up. He goes and he finds out it's a stuffed animal.
No, what's even funnier is when Ace Ventura hands this package to him, the guy shakes it and you can tell it's from. And the guy just like throws it anyways. And then it goes to that part where
he finally finds out it's staged. It sets a good tone for him because there's a lot of good like comedic roles that Jim Carrey has leading up to that. Like what was one? Assholes in the mirror are closer than they appear. Some shit like that.
Yeah.
What does he say exactly?
You're right because he was being chased by that guy.
Yeah.
Well, first he's trying to get his car. He's like, well, maybe I'll just
wait. Yeah, we'll let it wait a bit. It's flooded. It's probably flooded. We'll go now.
The guy comes with a bat, starts breaking his back window. It's like, we can go now. It's like, he starts. Which is kind of funny. The guy never actually goes after him. He just breaks his car, hits his car, and he doesn't really go after the dog.
Yeah.
Just breaks his car.
It's just like screw you for being the way you are. God, what was the dog's name? That's besides the point. But
I don't know.
To go further,
Fluffy or something.
They being Miami Dolphins, they enlist Ace Ventura, the pet detective, to help rescue Snowflake the dolphin.
Courtney Cox's character.
Okay, Courtney Cox. That's right. It's not just the police. It was basically her going off on her own to say, we want to get the pet detective to search for the dolphin.
The funny thing is someone else, she talked to, recommended him.
Yep.
And so then she's like, let's go get this guy.
Little do they know.
Well, I think she thought, this guy's got to be professional.
Yeah.
Little did you know. I mean, he is, but he just doesn't the guy is a good detective.
And
you can't give him that, he is able to find things, know where things...
What is that guy's name? But, so, if you're not a Breaking Bad fan, he played, it's hard to describe him. The old guy.
I'm not Breaking Bad. I know the old guy. I know Breaking Bad.
Okay, Breaking Bad, the old guy, God, what's his name?
Mike? The guy
not Mike. He's one of the drug dealers. He plays the landlord in Ace Ventura. I know they're in there, Ace. I can smell them. I can hear them scratching around. You know when he jiggles his keys and all the animals.
I swear, they're not in there.
All the animals are hiding.
I forget his landlord, though.
Okay, so the landlord, he plays that character in Breaking Bad.
I remember the landlord. What was the character in Breaking Bad?
So he's the old guy that he's in the wheelchair.
Oh,
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, so he plays that character, and that's a huge gap. And he still kind of looks the same. Him. He still looks the same.
Yeah,
you can definitely recognize him. Back in the day, he still is the same.
I just kind of forgot until you said No, you're right.
I do remember that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I forgot his name though, but it's his name in the Breaking Bad is Gustavo or something.
Yeah, Gustavo Fring. No, not Gustavo. No.
No, it's Frank.
God, no. Gustavo Fring is the guy that runs the
chicken place. Oh, yeah, it's
But anyway, we're talking about Ace Ventura.
Yeah, trying to go too far out.
Put those two together. It's gonna bug me. I don't know the guy's name in Breaking Bad.
We'll figure it out later. We gotta get back on topic.
But they Miami Dolphins are a part of this film, and they enlist Ace Ventura to find this dolphin.
Courtney
Courtney Cox's character, and one of my favorite parts, it just shows his personality, is when he goes and investigates the fish tank.
What is with all the shouting?
They all leave him alone, and he's like, pulls out his glasses.
Sunglasses.
I've traveled back in time to save an ancient species from total annihilation. So far,
I haven't
found any sign of life,
intelligence, or life.
But I've got to, Mister. I don't know. That's such a weird part of the movie, but I find it just funny. Even as a kid when I first watched it.
I just think he does some of the quirky things because then it makes him think it some more. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's just like something to like.
I think that makes the film. I mean,
and
that's what makes it not for everybody. But his quirkiness really makes the film. If he doesn't have his quirkiness in the film,
boring. It's
a boring film. It doesn't. It's just another like crime drama.
It's like,
you're going after some dolphin, are you? But it's got to be that comedy where in that scene he finds what appears to be a gem off of a Super Bowl ring, and that's where he can kind of piece together. Oh, so somebody that stole this was a part of the Super Bowl team.
And the funny thing is like, how do you know? I mean, how do you know to go to the Dolphins though? You know, like, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not on any other ring. It's this year's.
Yeah.
Super
And
Bowl
they
ring.
did explain that in the film, and I don't remember exactly. But he's like, it was one of these guys here.
You still had like,
and it's so funny,
really,
like
get into it. You know?
You really got to get into the weeds.
It's just
and figure out like how the hell did you know that gem was in that year of the Super Bowl ring? Yeah,
he doesn't look like a football he's
not a football guy. Yeah, it's
you
a stretch. It's a stretch, but it adds to that next comedy role where he's having to check everybody's ring to which one of you guys has your gem still in it,
or he's like punch me
right here,
and then he looks at the mirror to make sure he has.
Oh yeah, it's got the gem in it. Dang it!
Or like the one time he faked all those pimples to get a signing for a couple of...
Thank you. I love it. And then the classic, I'm not, staring at him next to the urinal, or he's like...
he's like... and then the guy's like...
Whatever.
And then it's like...
It's a funny role, and then the guy that's running around the track, he's got to stop him and tackle him to let me see your ring, man.
No. What he does is he runs behind him, gets a thing of chloroform, puts it on his mouth, so
he passes out, and he picks up his hand.
He's like,
come on, man.
I did all that work for nothing.
I like that. That's a good part of the film. And then it also has, like, the serious parts, too. There's, like, so many different serious roles. Like...
Well, I mean, you kind of have to be
like
serious... Because it is like a detective movie.
Yeah, you got to detective.
You got to be somewhat serious.
And I guess the next point I would make would be like that scene where the older gentleman gets thrown off the balcony, right? And they go and investigate that. Yep. And
I still remember the guy's name.
Roger Bedacter. Yep.
Well, he was the other guy that was with Courtney Cox.
Yep. And somehow he gets in there and wants to do his little investigative work, and
they're all giving him shit for it.
Yeah, they're all giving him some crap, and then he actually figures out, well, somebody freaking did it because he didn't commit suicide.
Oh, how do you know?
How do you know? Only this.
That's 2 panes of glass. There's no way that person heard him all the way.
You swear you heard him across the hallway.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Roger Bedacter killed himself while shutting the door.
Yeah. The killer came in, threw him off the balcony, and then closed the door when he left.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I exorcised the demons. This room is not clear.
Such good parts. Like, you can't not remember those parts. It's pretty.
You gotta remember, this is another movie we haven't seen in like forever. But it's just like one of those movies.
You just can't forget these parts, though.
There's parts that you just can't forget, yeah. We kind of forgot the thing, but for the most part, we got most of it.
I could care less that Dan Marino's in the film, honestly, but it does kind of add to it, because of that era, Dan Marino was a big Dolphins guy.
Person. Well, I think at some point he thought he was the bad guy.
Yep.
And then Dan Marino gets kidnapped, and he's like, "What?
How? What the hell?"
I was like, what's
what
going
I don't
on
get
here?
is why You know, maybe I haven't really studied the film all that much, but why does Finkel have all these henchmen doing all his dirty work? I don't know how he gets that.
I don't know.
Is he like living off the the
well,
residuals of his Super Bowl win? So
no,
he's got.
I think it's because his new persona, Einhorn,
Yep.
is the head captain.
Yeah.
So I'm sure these guys are like, hey, if you do this for me, I'll like make your record clear.
Yeah.
I'll do this and that or the other, so you stay out of the system or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that'd be a good point. Kind of like do a little bribe work action on these henchmen to like say, hey, if you do something for me, I'll do something for you. And the fact that
I'll scratch your back. Scratch mine.
Like that premise where the captain is Einhorn, Finkel's Einhorn.
Spoiler.
Einhorn's Finkel.
Spoiler.
We're spoiling. If you're watching, you're getting spoiled. But yeah, that's just.
I mean, it's an old movie.
Another weird part.
Finkel's Einhorn.
Why did he go to that mental asylum? Not an asylum, but that mental facility.
So he goes and meets Finkel's parents.
Okay.
And his parents is the one that's the last place they remember him being.
He was in. And that's such a weird jump, and it's a comedy. But going from the mental facility to captain.
Well, and that's where Finkel gets his identity from Einhorn. It's because he finds a news clipping saying, I forget her first name.
I don't remember either.
Einhorn. Something
Einhorn.
Anyways, he reads that she was a hitchhiker that was lost. So then Finkel becomes Einhorn. Einhorn becomes Finkel. And then but like, how's he get out of the mental? I don't remember if he escaped.
I don't get that part.
Or if he just like...
It's so unbelievable. Like, you can't take this film seriously.
Like,
I think that's why I like it. You don't have to really pay attention to the film. I like a little backstory, like how the theories about how X got to.
Did they explain that he escaped or something?
I think so, and that's just another.
But that's another thing.
Film
like,
where,
how do you get the sex change, or where do you get the sex? Like,
I don't think there was a sex change. He still had his.
Yeah, but it was in the back.
Okay, so he had to adjust it somehow.
Yeah, and then plus he had boobs.
Yeah, I suppose there is some of that too.
Because that's why Roger Protector got.
Yeah, he got fooled. He got fooled.
He found Mr. Winky.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I do remember that part. That was
he found Mr. Winky, and then everybody's like.
That's a great part too. It's just like, so everybody was in on it.
Everybody's had a piece of Einhorn that was once a man.
Yeah.
I just remember the funniest part when Ace
Ventura finds out. Einhorn's a man? Oh God, Einhorn's a man.
Yeah, he's like, he finds out. He's like, oh, I figured it out. And then once he figured it out, it's like, oh God, I've kissed him. And then like, and he gets a plunger.
Yeah, he's in a plunger. And then when he gets the next day, he's in the car and he's got like a freaking whole package of gum in his mouth. He's
like sticks it out. To the big gum in his...
Yeah. Sticks it out. Great part of the film, man. I agree, man. I don't know where to go from there. There's another quirky part though. Totally unbelievable, but adds to it. He's got that chase scene where he's getting shot at, and he catches the bullet
in his teeth.
Oh my God! How the hell do you do that? I don't know. It just
I think it was one of those cheesy moments.
But before we give our rating, I do want to add just one more of my favorite parts to talk about. Was the sunflower seeds scene. That is by far my favorite scene. Like, he should be shitting out 2x4s the way he ate those sunflower seeds. But it was just like one of those moments where I was like, he's just sitting there chomping away at some sunflower seeds.
This is when he's talking to Courtney Cox.
I thought he was talking to Einhorn.
No.
Maybe not.
No, it's Courtney Cox.
It was Courtney Cox's character?
I'm pretty sure
You're probably right. You're probably right. But that's besides the point. Because he's sitting there and he's eating it.
Sunflower seeds.
He's not eating them. He's not eating the seeds. He's just crunching the shell and the seeds.
No, he's eating the whole thing.
He's eating the whole thing.
And then he's spitting out the seeds.
He's spitting out everything. He's spitting out everything.
He's probably
everything crunched.
He's sitting there eating it. And then Courtney Cox's character goes up to him. Do you need an ashtray? And then he's like, with a bunch of seeds.
No, I don't smoke. Disgusting habit.
It's disgusting habit. It's
by far my favorite part of the movie.
That was probably one of the funniest parts.
But
I think the funniest part is when he actually
finds out Finkel's Einhorn.
And another funny part is when he goes to that fancy party. He goes there and there's a bunch of fancy fish because he thinks it's that one guy that's running the whole thing. Right. And then he's like, I have to use the restroom. And
and that totally reminds me of the other parts. Like, there's so many good parts that I can. And maybe it's just the nostalgia of it, but
no, but that's just
what's the password? New England clam chowder.
Is that the red or the white? I never forget this one.
White?
The white?
Yes.
And then
it's just like, I mean, to the person that hasn't watched this film and they watch that, they're probably like, why the hell did they put that in the film? That's so dumb. But to me, it's like, wow, that kind of makes the film, you know? Like, just like, I don't know, it gives me a lot of joy watching it.
I mean, it's just, but getting back to that point where he goes to the bathroom, he tries sinking around, he falls in the shark tank.
He gets beat up
gets out. And goes out of the bathroom. Do not go in there. Woo!
That was a good part too. Everybody looks at him like,
what the hell just happened? And then they leave the party, and then the guy's like, I don't know what happened, Mr. Ventura. And he's like, I don't know either, but you need to get that thing checked.
Like he just did some work in the bathroom.
Like
something happened.
The toilet acted up or something. Like Ace Ventura made it seem like something happened in the bathroom, so it wasn't like his fault. Like he made it seem like it wasn't his fault.
Oh, great film. I think we should just get into our rating and one more talking point, and I just thought of it. Are there any parts of the film that you think they could have done better?
I don't think so.
It's so hard to make a criticism of a film that you look so fondly of. At least for me, anyway.
No,
I got so many. Good
parts there probably
is
some parts that could maybe did better.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'd be like subtle changes.
Yeah. I agree. Maybe the way they've done some of the scenes, like I think.
Like how does Einhorn get the bad guys in the first place?
Maybe I think they should do like a. Okay, so for instance, we went through the Chumscrubbers, right? And at the end of the film, they kind of do like one of those typical. Okay, another film I should talk about. The Chumscrubbers does it too, but the Sandlots. At the end of the film, they kind of go on to say, "Oh, this is what somebody did later on. Oh, so and so grew up to be whatever. So and so became a famous MLB star. So and so, the Chumscrubber kind of did that a little bit with like.
I didn't watch all the way to end, I guess.
Oh, maybe not. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're
like
talking
if they would have had like at the end, well, maybe something separately.
I know, like
a
Ace
Ventura, like an Ace Ventura 1.1 or 1.5 or something that kind of explains some of the backstory. Who really cares though? It's like it's a comedy,
that's what I'm saying.
They
like
have some more like
that's what I'm saying.
Backstory.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's not like important. Like I said, maybe how she get the bad guys? Like
yeah.
But I mean,
how'd she enlist the dudes? Because
it's
like
that's
kind of far fetched.
Like how she becomes a woman in
the far fetched span from I left the mental facility to becoming a captain in a police station. Like. That's a huge jump there. I mean,
well, yeah, because once you
get there, and it does make it funny, but whoa, it's so unbelievable. How'd you get there?
Because I wouldn't think that'd be very long.
Yeah,
it's got to be within a few years.
Yep,
and you have to wait a long time to become a captain.
Absolutely. I
mean,
my brother's it's just not.
My brother's been in the police department for a long time, and he's finally a sergeant.
It takes a long time.
So it's kind of,
and maybe he's got some inside scoop with being an NFL football player, maybe some special.
I mean, I think maybe it's the whole fake persona thing, though. Yep. He made a fake persona.
Yeah.
Hey, I did this for so long as a.
Yeah, maybe he just padded his resume.
And it could be a fake.
Became a captain. He was a captain in another police department on his resume.
But still, probably
you
have to know that stuff.
I'm thinking, he's mental, and
that's true.
And
he had a lot of reading.
Let's say poor mental state, and he's got a lot of reading, like you said, and he's able to maybe Einhorn was part of a different. She was like a captain. Well, I'm just saying maybe Einhorn was a captain in his own mind of some other police station. that he used to say, okay, I can justify this
Well,
position.
no, he got Einhorn off of a news clipping. But I know what you're saying. Like he probably pulled. I think what happened is he probably had like a split persona in a way.
Yeah.
To where he's like, or I'm Einhorn now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just think Einhorn stuff, you know.
Yep. I'm completely Einhorn. Finkel
Yeah.
is no longer a part of my being. Laces out.
Well, I think it still is, but not like like he can go in and out more towards the end of the movie. I think. But
I do want to give some more stats here, quick. Worldwide, they did 107.2 million off of a 15 million investment. I have to say that's a huge success. I mean,
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey brought him up.
I don't feel like this is like one. I mean, I know you're saying this is probably one of his earlier films, but this is not like his earliest films. You got.
Well, let's go look at Jim Carrey.
Yeah, way more earlier stuff.
I mean,
than that.
I do want to do more Jim Carrey films.
No,
I think they're super fun to talk about, and to even get. Oh my. It is still one of his earlier films.
No, I know, but like...
So he's got...
He's did some earlier ones.
Copper Mountain was his first one.
I don't remember
Back in 1983. Peggy Sue Got Married.
I don't remember that.
The Deadpool.
I don't remember that.
Earth Girls Are Easy.
I remember that.
You do remember that?
Yeah. I've seen it.
Doing Time on Maple Drive.
There should be another one before that, though.
There maybe is.
Because there's a one where he plays in a vampire movie. I forget what it's called.
There could be. Maybe these are his main roles.
More better. No, he's a main character in that one.
Okay.
I forget what it's called though. It's like, it's a vampire movie. It's about to grab me.
That's okay.
But he's like a teenager in high school.
I'm just trying to see where he was at.
No, I know, but I'm saying that's like one of the main movies he's famous from. Is that movie, and I can't remember the movie offhand.
And that's okay. I'm just trying to think. Like, to me, Ace Ventura overall is probably his first. Like, this is where I've made it. This is it.
I really feel like
I don't know any of these other films. I don't know.
Them. But it's like night.
But for me, Ace Ventura puts him on the map.
No, yeah. Well, no, Saturday Night Live is what put him on the map.
Which one's that?
Saturday Night Live.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But you're saying movie-wise.
Yeah, movie-wise. Like, definitely
Ace
probably
Ventura,
made his own roles of that.
That, I can't remember the movie. That's about the crap out of me. It's like night something.
All right, we gotta get into ratings. We gotta do the rating.
You go ahead.
All right.
You go first.
I'm gonna go first. Little bias in this, but I'm just going by enjoyment factor. Like we said earlier, I'm gonna do... there's room for me to say there's improvement. I'm not putting it way up there. 4.5 for me. I'm doing 4.5.
It's just tough.
It is tough, yeah.
Because I have so many other movies.
I don't want... I would want to place movies ahead of this one. That's where I'm at.
There is movies... I mean... I don't know. It's one of my top... I wouldn't say like... God, it's hard.
Not top, but it's up there.
It's top...
That's why I get 4.5. On a 10 scale, that's a 9 out of 10. So that's where I'm at with it.
I actually might use a point because I don't want to give it a 5.5 because...
Well, it's 5.5 max, so you go...
No, I know.
Yeah, do points. I mean, you could divide it up because you could actually get more out of this than out of a 10 scale. Well, you could do like 9.9. Do the point scale through the 1 to 10. 4.8. Wow.
I still like this movie.
No, that's huge.
It's funny.
That's huge.
It's got a story. No, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, I got other ones.
That's huge. I'd have to agree too. I mean, for me, it's huge. Uh-oh.
It's like it ran out or something.
Oh, my camera.
Something.
Funk out.
Something stopped. What happened?
Ah, shoot.
Did your battery die?
Maybe. My battery, it's battery powered. So let's just go to the close-up. to finish her off here, we're gonna get into. I don't know how we get us both in here. Let's go over here. So we're gonna get into some news. I have not broke this to you, and maybe you've read a little bit on it. Some entertainment news. Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh.
There was a leak.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I forgot what the link was about.
I think
it was about the map, wasn't it? Or something?
No, I think.
Oh, no, the character.
So,
That's
yeah,
right,
there was
you
a
told me.
character. And
You told me about I forgot.
it
I
was
remember now.
early in their development. I've read a lot of criticism that it looks bad, but it was super early in their development. I just want to, like, I don't know. I want to bash Rockstar, but also give them some accolades, too. Like, they've been milking 5 forever.
I feel like...
Why don't they just release something? They're probably a few years out, but, like...
I feel like they're just milking 5
Yeah.
for wherever they can.
5 is such a cash cow for them. I'd agree.
Like, why? Because look how fast they made all these other ones.
Yeah.
From even the third one, Vice City was like, what, maybe a few years later?
Yeah, you get up to
San
5. You get up to
Andreas.
5, and even you go back to 4. They had add-ons. They kept it fresh. The Lost and Damned, The Ballad of Gay Tony.
Yeah, it was
And
just
as soon
add-ons.
as you get to 5, they just stop.
stops.
They're just like, let's milk this
Well,
online.
I mean, they still add stuff
It's a
to the
product
online.
of the generation, though.
I mean, it's like what
It's-
you said, though. Like, because 3, you can't do any add-ons.
Yeah.
You got Grand Theft Auto Vice City, you can't do any add-ons.
Yeah.
You got San Andreas. They had side missions, still no real add-ons.
No, whatever they
You could
whatever,
have
whatever
multiple-
they came in the box, that's what you got. There
You
was
still got
no
more
there was
players,
no
though.
expansion. It was the console.
But you could have 2 players in San Andreas.
You can, yep, I agree.
'Cause you
That
could go-
added a lot to it. I agree. I think that was
You got
enjoyable.
Grand Theft Auto 4, which you
4.
again there was.
I think
really
they
no
they
add-ons.
went with their limitations of what they had too.
Which
because
sucks because you can play 2-player either. It was stupid. You can play.
yeah, but
2-player
they
on
tried
San
going
Andreas.
online, so you could do like online with your buddies. That's what it
Was
was.
4 when they started that line?
They tried. I honestly did not
And they
like it.
failed?
I didn't like it. I would still rather play single player by myself before I play the online version. But 5, aside from their opening of the online, it did relatively well. Not my cup of tea, but it did relatively well. And they've like you said, milked it ever since.
Well, yeah.
6
I mean,
better be a damn good game.
I just feel like they're making up stuff just so that
I've
they don't
always,
have to put it out.
even prior, I always thought they were going to go back to Vice City. And I think this is going to be a Vice City.
No, I think
centric
it's supposed to be like a Vice City.
because
I
they
agree.
went. 3 was Liberty City. 4 was Liberty City. 5 is San Andreas. There was a San Andreas. They're missing a Vice City next gen.
Yeah, they did Liberty City, Vice City, San Andreas.
But I'm just saying, like, to copy their previous titles, like you have number 3, which
They
is
did go back to Liberty City for a little bit, didn't
so
they?
3, Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto 4. Those were both Liberty City.
Okay.
And 5 and San Andreas were both in San Andreas.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like
So
San
if you
Francisco.
want next gen, like Vice City is still old gen. It's still PlayStation 2.
No, I think I heard that they are doing more
Yeah.
Vice
And that's
City.
what the release was too, kind of like showed that environment of being on the beach in Miami.
Is this supposed to still
I
take
don't
place
know
in
if
the
it's
80s?
going to take place in the 80s. That's my
I don't-
big dilemma. I hope it does.
I kind of do too.
I hope it does. I like the big phone 80s style theme that they had.
I did like the Vice City theme too as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. And their tracks were banging. Like, you hop in a car and you
Oh,
listen
yeah.
to some radio.
No
I
matter what
might
you're
not even
listening-
play the mission because I'll listen to the rest of the radio. It was gold, man. It was gold.
Where
You had the Love Fist. I don't know, just added to it because they had missions in the game and radio where they were talking. It was
no, it's good.
it was a generational
No, I
piece.
def-
And I'm looking forward to this. I am.
The only thing I didn't like about Vice City is it's basically a copycat of Scarface.
Yeah, that too.
Hardcore.
They didn't have any originality.
Yeah,
in
they
that.
had no
The
ori-
Lance
I mean-
Vance dance.
I mean, they did for the most part until the
But
end.
that was the '80s theme
Thing.
of the time, and I think they probably just went through like old '80s films. All right, what should we kind of keep it?
I mean,
as like,
I guess it
as
could've.
like a pop culture figure. They didn't rip it off directly, but the mansion that you're in at the end of the game,
pretty much ripped
that's
it
directly
off.
what it was.
I mean,
Scarface.
the mansion's pretty
The
much
scene,
saying that
yeah.
he's looking at cameras,
Yeah.
just like in the movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't say hello, my little friend, but
Yeah.
he's basically shooting people.
You're shooting
That's
all
all
the
you're
bad
doing
guys.
is shooting bad guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty much rip off.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't get a lawsuit on that.
I'm gonna try and.
But your camera just shut off?
Yeah, I don't know if it just went idle. Might be out of batteries, honestly. Oh well, let's go back. Got all the power in the world off of this camera, so I don't know. Unless you got anything more to add, I think we can probably wrap it up. I had fun this episode. This has been great. I need to re-edit some of the details. I put that we were gonna do the Wolf of Wall Street, and instead of Wolf of Wall Street, we went Ace Ventura.
I felt like I didn't. I have watched Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was comfortable.
And
really
I
rating a movie. I didn't really 100%. Like I feel like even though I haven't seen Ace Ventura in a long time,
yeah, you could
I still
definitely just
remember
have
it.
a good recollection.
Crank.
And if
I have more recollection than I do.
yeah.
Of,
I'd agree. There's
there's movies I like
for me,
100% remember.
I have Wolf of Wall Street in that category though for me.
It's
So
good. Yeah, I mean, it was still like I just wouldn't. I've only seen it one time.
yeah,
Like Ace Ventura, I've seen hundreds of times. Yeah. And I've seen Crank, maybe not hundreds of times, but I've seen it multiple times. I've only seen Chumscrubber once. Maybe 2 times. I don't remember. I think I do remember seeing it at some point.
And I would, I could make an entire episode off of how much crap I've got for talking about the Chumscrubber. Like, the title in itself is just so.
I have to agree with that.
It's so
though.
repulsive.
It's just like, what's
Could
this
you
movie
imagine?
about?
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine, like, okay, maybe you saw the trailer, but you didn't catch
Even
the
the-
name,
even-
and you're like, you walk up to the movie theater and you're like,
Even the trailer.
the Chumscrubber.
I mean,
Let's do this.
Even when you told me what happens in the movie, I watched the trailer. The trailer doesn't really say that at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're probably not trying to give a lot away though either.
Yeah, and that's my whole dilemma with the trailer system. Like, how much do you give and how much do you just
Oh
let
yeah,
be?
definitely.
There's so many trailers out there. Like, you
I'm
watch
trying
a
to-
shitty movie and you're like, wow, I wish I would have watched the trailer like a dozen times as
It
opposed
doesn't
to
even
watching
matter.
the whole movie.
It doesn't even matter that I've seen a trailer. It's like, oh man, this trailer blew my mind. This movie's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
You go watch a movie.
Yeah,
What the hell did I just watch?
It's the typical like, here's the bait and switch. It's
Most of the
like, here
time-
you go, we got your money. Here's the crap that we wanted you to watch now.
Most of the time, the trailer, equals the movie. But
I give so much benefit of the
I
doubt
can't
towards
remember-
a lot of these films.
I can't remember the movie offhand. But that did happen to me once, where I watched the trailer. I was like, God, this is gonna be.
More often than not.
God, this is gonna be awesome.
The one that I can come up with, and I actually kind of dig the film, but it was a shitty film, Zoolander and Zoolander 2.
I don't think that was the movie, but I can see that though too.
No, like the trailers compared to the film,
Movie.
like it's like, oh man.
No,
And-
I can
and-
see it though. I'm trying to think of the movie, but there is that. I can see that though.
Yeah, where you watch the trailer and you're like, yeah, I'll give this a chance. I'll give this a shot.
Even like, what's that? What's the one where they're in the military? It's with Ben Stiller. Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
The
Watch the trailer.
trailer.
Like all the trailers have all the good like joke scenes in it. You're like, oh yeah, I love that scene.
it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they got Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, that was
They
just.
got Ben Stiller.
They paid all these actors so you could be like, wow, this has to be good
It's
because it's
gotta
got
be
all
good.
these good actors in it.
And they,
Duh.
well, even the trailer like made it look like it was a decently. And I mean, it was
Yeah.
all right, but not what the trailer gave away. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Well, for all those that have joined us, appreciate you guys sticking around. We're gonna do a little adjusting and
Make
hopefully
sure
get some more
everybody's
feedback. Give us a
charged.
subscribe. Give us a shout out.
Give us a
Come on
like.
and
Give us a
like.
subscribe.
Subscribe. Do all that jazz that everybody else tells you to do, or if you didn't like it, just move on. But give us a chance, man. We'll come around with some suggestions. We definitely want to.
We want your
what
input.
the people want.
Yeah, give us what you
And
want. we'll try to.
This is our broadcast, obviously, but we're doing it just for fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I got. Got anything else? Signing out.
Signing out.
See you guys later.
Keep it extra real.